going on, everybody? Back on the New England Shakeup, episode 3. Just want to give a huge shout out to everybody that has tuned in for episode 1 and episode 2 the last few days, uploaded over the weekend. If you haven't, go and check those out, ladies and gentlemen. But on the New England Shakeup, we have a ton to get into today. Is Mac Jones elite now? Is he mediocre? Is he so-so? I will tell you on the New England Shakeup episode 3. Getting into my first point about basically what I want to get into is Mac Jones answered all those questions. Cole Strange back in the lineup. Offensive line seemed to hold up pretty well against Buffalo at times. Mac Jones throwing, I believe, for 272. Looked pretty good. 29 points. Patriots scored the most they scored all season. Now, everybody looking at this, and I said, well, maybe the Patriots tank. Maybe they don't. J.C. Jackson played his butt off on Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, like I said he was going to. Josh Allen at times looked like a shell of himself, to say the very least. And I will say right now that Josh Allen, you got a long time coming, man. The Buffalo Bills, they got to figure some stuff out. The fact New England could beat you, oh man, you better throw the championship contenders out the window right now. But Josh Allen's got, he's got to learn from his mistakes, when you turn the ball over, when, you can't stop what's looked like a porous offense at times with the Buffalo defense. I don't know. I don't know. Held the Bills to, I believe, 0 points in the first quarter, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Had a very high pressure rate on Josh Allen, getting to him several times, forcing him to make throws outside the pocket, which some things at times, he can do that. But Sunday, he did not look very comfortable doing it. Bill Belichick was bringing exotic blitzes from, all over the field. And Josh Allen in the offensive line just couldn't pick him up. They were pressuring. They were getting to him. What does this say about the Patriots? I don't know now. They're 2-5. I mean, is there really a chance that this team can make a push? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't think that's really like anything we should look forward to as far as like what we can really foresee. We can only hope that they go so far, right? We can only hope that they maybe do tank so we do get a good draft pick. But, like I told you guys the other day, New England, we're not okay with losing. And I don't think Bill Belichick is too. And I will say this. Bill Belichick got a contract extension before the year's up. How does everybody feel about that? Because, everybody was saying fire the man, he's too old, get him out of here. Robert Kraft was like, nah, I'm extending him. I know what I'm doing. I know who my coach is. I know who I've known for the last 25 years. It's Bill Belichick. Robert Kraft's got the wave of how to do things. Robert Kraft, he's writing checks. That's it right now. He ain't gonna step on Bill's toes. You guys see what happened. Kendrick Bourne looked like an elite receiver on Sunday. Mac Jones looked like an elite quarterback on Sunday. They look like they went back to square one, guys. Stevenson finally making an impact. What does this say now? Where do they go from here? They gotta keep going. They gotta keep stacking these wins. It might not have been the perfect start, guys, but you can't always expect that it's going to be perfect. You can't always expect that it's going to work out your way. You got to take what's given to you. If given to you is a butt whooping, then you just take it. You move on to the next one. I remember a few years ago, well, maybe not a few years ago, 9 years ago now, the Patriots lost a game in Kansas City, ladies and gentlemen. They lost a game in Kansas City very badly. Very badly. If people remember that, let me pull it up. But I believe New England actually got trounced in that game. Yeah. September 29th, 2014, Patriots lose 14-41 at Kansas City. And you guys remember what Bill Belichick said after that game? It was, hey, we're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. And I remember all the memes that came out, and Bill Belichick was like, we're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. Because he understands that sometimes your team just plays a bad game. It's part of football. So for the Patriots to keep up this winning culture, what they have to do is do what they did on Sunday and play great defense. You got to play great defense. That's what Bill Belichick has always been known for, is bringing defensive acumens to the game of football. Bill Belichick is the greatest coach to ever coach on the planet. Nobody get it twisted. Bill Belichick is the best course of action for the New England Patriots right now. If anybody's going to get us out of this, it's Bill. It's Bill Belichick. If anybody's going to get us out of the murky water that you see, in the sewer when you're walking down, broad day in New York, and you're walking down, you see the sewer drain and you see that little crappy water. That's what New England fans, that's what we're seeing right now. We want that water to start clearing up. We want these W's to start rising to the top. Because that's what we need. Bill Belichick, at some point or another, is going to get his props for what he did. But how gangster would it be? I'm just going to say it. How gangster would it be if Bill Belichick took a team that was 1-5 at one point in the year and somehow, some way got him into the playoffs? That would be, guys, it's not impossible. Let's not act like we haven't been here before. We've been like in this window for the last 3 years of, can we get to the playoffs? Can we not? The AFC right now is banged up. Jimmy Garoppolo's hurt. You never know what the Chargers quarterback, if he's going to be healthy. You never know with Tua. A lot of stuff can happen, guys. Aaron Rodgers went down week 1. It's only week 7. There's 10 more weeks of this NFL season. Guys, there's 10 more weeks for Bill Belichick to build this team into a serious contender. Bill Belichick wants that. Robert Kraft wants that. Mac Jones wants it. You know what told me that Mac Jones isn't going to settle down and let this keep happening? The kid went out there and he balled out. He didn't make excuses. He said, I got to be better. I got to play better. He didn't make excuses. He balled out against Buffalo. And Buffalo has a good quarterback. They have a decent defense. And they have a great head coach in Sean McDermott. That's a good win for New England. And they got to build on it. They got to use this as momentum. Okay, you can hang with the Bills. You can hang with anyone. Because the Bills have been a perennial playoff team for the last 5 years. And no one can tell me otherwise. The Buffalo Bills have trouble playing against Bill Belichick. The Buffalo Bills are always that team that are just one play short. And on Sunday, they were as well. How do you let that happen if you're Benford? How do you let that happen? You're a corner and you let Mike Gesicki do that to you in the back of the end zone? When Mac Jones, who has really been terrible up to this point, cutting up your defense like knife going through hot butter. Mac Jones just answered all those questions. Patriots won't take a quarterback in the draft this year. You can believe that. Patriots won't. Patriots won't. They might take a playmaker, but they ain't taking a quarterback. Mac Jones is the best thing for the New England Patriots going forward. No Caleb Williams, no Drake May, no Michael Penix Jr. None of that. Don't listen to Mel Kiper. Because none of these kids got what Max got. Max taking us to the playoffs, guys. People forget that. People forget that Mac has taken us to the playoffs. Yeah, it might have not ended great, but he still took us there. You gotta want to win in this league. With the Patriots with their injuries right now, they seem to have figured it out. They seem not to miss Judon that much. They were getting a lot of pressure. So that tells me we can get pressure on them. We can get pressure on people. We can, force takeaways. This defense needs to be the reason, the beck and call, the reason why the Patriots make the playoffs. I'm going to sit here right now on October 24th, 2023, and I'm going to say that the New England Patriots are getting in the playoffs. They're going to make it. They're going to somehow, some way get in. And if they get in, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Everybody's got to want to build a culture. And that's what Bill Belichick is going to continue to do. So guys, this is where I stand with the Patriots. They're only going to get as far as Mac will take them. I'll leave it at that. Getting into my real second point here today is basically a, a changing of the guard, if you will. And the reason why I say that and why it's a changing of the guard is because even if the Patriots somehow don't make the playoffs, there's going to be a change of the guard of what sports team's going to run Boston for the next 10 years. Told you guys the other day, I'm going to say it again. It's going to be the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics open tomorrow against New York. I am really, 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 really excited to see this team. Really, really excited to see this team. I mean, Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Horford. It's time to go, guys. Banner 18, here we come. We got the most length in the league. We probably got the best starting lineup in the league. We might not have the deepest team, but we got people who have played before in the playoffs. We got people who have performed before in the playoffs on that bench. And we're going to be fine. The Celtics are gonna make the finals and they're gonna win it this year. The whole thing with Dame and Giannis, I'm sorry guys, but you guys think Chris Middleton's just gonna give up 20 shots a game? Y'all crazy. Y'all are crazy. Chris Middleton not doing that. Chris Middleton was getting mad when he wasn't the one to lead the team when Giannis was out. Y'all remember when Giannis was out in a few games of those playoffs? What happened? Miami ate Chris Middleton up. They didn't let him get nothing. And you think, oh, just because Dame went there, Chris Middleton just supposed to not be a 20-point per game scorer no more? Come on now. They're still gonna expect that of him, but they're gonna ask it of him in less opportunities. So if he doesn't score 20 a game, he's gonna look like he doing nothing, which is crazy. The uh the Celtics only have two things that worry me right now. The health of Porzingis and the health of Tatum's left wrist. Jay, why didn't you get your surgery in the off season? It was such an easy fix. Yeah, you might have been out a month, but man, if you fall on that the wrong way, if you hit it the wrong way, if you do something the wrong way, then it's not going to end well for you. And something tells me in my heart of hearts that this isn't going to be a good change for the Celtics, because if Tatum doesn't add up to what he, is, and that's a top 5 player, then he can't excel any further than he is already in his career. And that's the most important thing that the Celtics have to think about is if Tatum's hurt to a degree at any point this year, do they have enough firepower to hang with a Milwaukee, with a Philadelphia, with those other contenders in the Eastern Conference? And my answer is no. Okay? My answer is no. You need Tatum, there regardless of if he's playing a decoy role or what. You need him there. You got to want the Celtics have to want to win this year. When I say they have to want to win, they have to play no games and play with no prisoners, if you guys get what I'm saying. The Celtics have to throw caution to the wind. And when I say they have to throw caution to the wind, they always have played with a somewhat of like uh we want to get hit first. Now we can throw the strike back, but the Celtics have to be the team to come out and strike first this year and take nothing from nobody. Jason Tatum needs to assert himself undoubtedly as a top 3 player in basketball. And he can absolutely do that. The Celtics have so much talent right now, guys. This is a better team constructed than their '08 Celtics team that won the championship. Think about that. They have more length than that team ever had. They've got more 3-point shooting than that team ever had, even though they had Ray Allen and Eddie House. The Celtics need to want to win. They need to want the glory, because when they lost in 2022, it was so heartbreaking for them. Jaylen Brown, Tatum, they talked about how embarrassing it was losing in front of the entire world. Boston, we stay strong, though. Boston strong. We've been repping that since 2013. We always stay strong in these moments because the revenge tour is always served best cold, right? And in the cold months of December, January, and February is where teams really make their mark and where they, either can break away from certain standings, certain seeds, certain competition. Injuries can happen. And the Celtics, if they were to experience a significant injury to Porzingis or something, I think they'd be fine. But if they get one of the Jays a significant injury, then we have to have a completely different conversation. Because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are not Kristaps Porzingis. Getting into my point about tomorrow's game, I really look for them to come out swinging. I really look for Tatum to take the RJ Barrett matchup personally tomorrow. Because every time that the Knicks play the Celtics, RJ Barrett always plays very good defense on Tatum. Anybody ever notice that? I don't think Tatum has ever scored in Madison Square Garden. I think he might have once, but besides the one time, RJ Barrett does a good job defending him. Tatum has to take it personally. Tatum has to score 35. It needs to be a statement win. Joe Mazzulla also needs to prove that he is an elite young head coach. He just went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year and lost to an 8 seed Miami. We all know how that went and how it should have went, but it didn't. Okay? Tatum's going to realize at some point or another this year that he needs to be a leader. Marcus Smart is not coming through those doors anymore. They are going to look at you, Jason, for guidance. They're going to look to you for leadership. They're going to look to you to want to win. Because everybody in Boston right now isn't looking at Mac Jones, isn't looking at Marchand and David Pasternak, isn't looking at Devers. Everyone in Boston is looking at the two J's right now and saying, like, we've been giving y'all 6, 7 years now. Conference final appearance after conference final appearance after finals appearance. It's time to buckle up for one heck of a ride this year, guys. Because the Celtics are gonna win a ring. Celtics are gonna win a ring. They gotta want they gotta want they gotta want the matchup with Milwaukee too. I kinda get a little ahead of myself because the Celtics have always played Giannis very tough. And even if they've lost to him, whatever, in some series and won against him in some series, even if they have lost to him, they still hold him to a significant number. The problem that was happening is Middleton was getting open. Jaylen Brown would get into foul trouble or turn the ball over. Marcus Smart back in that time was not as efficient as a pick and roll point guard, so he was turning the ball over a lot. And during that, postseason that Tatum had, you know, he had 100 turnovers in 2022. On their finals run. I don't think it's going to look anything like that this year. Tatum's going to clean it up. He's going to get what he wants as far as money's concerned at the end of this year. And I think the money aspect of it is only a small thing to Jason right now. Jason idolized Kobe Bryant, everybody. If anybody knows anything about Kobe Bryant, what did Kobe Bryant build his legacy off of? It's hard work, the Mamba mentality, how to put your best into every single day. And now we all sit here and we wonder, like, who in this era is going to have that killer mentality? And right now, I don't think anyone else compares. Jason Tatum doesn't get his flowers, but I think Jason Tatum's a top 5 defender in the league. Am I crazy to say that? I don't think so. I think Jason Tatum is one of the best lateral defenders in the league at his position and also throughout the game of basketball. Jason Tatum, undoubtedly, other than Giannis, best two-way player in basketball, in my opinion. There's Giannis and then there's Jason Tatum. There's nobody else. There's no other conversation to be had. But on episode 3 of the New England Shakeup, and what I've been talking about here is there's always a progression to how a player performs or how a team performs or how a coach may perform or how a coach may call a play in a certain situation. And last year, we all really realized that Joe Mazzulla didn't really know how to call plays effectively, especially in like game-winning situations. And I think personally that Joe Mazzulla should sit down with Brad Stevens with this roster, and Brad Stevens can come up with game winning, clutch plays drawn up for Tatum and Jaylen. And why I say that is because, guys, if anybody remembers when Brad Stevens was coaching, there was an Isaiah Thomas on that team, a Jaylen Brown on that team. Okay. Then there was a Kyrie Irving on that team with a Jaylen Brown, with a Tatum. Guys, the only reason why the Celtics pushed Cleveland that year to a game 7 was because of the coaching that Brad Stevens was doing. Nobody understands that. Brad Stevens is now in the front office, but Brad Stevens knows a lot about the game of basketball, and I would love for Joe Mazzulla to pick his brain. I really, really would. I think that would benefit this team. And I also want other players to feel comfortable taking a game-winning shot. I want people like Derek White and Pritchard and Drew Holiday to know how to take a game-winning shot. Because that's going to come up. That's going to come up. So what's going to happen if Tatum's fouled out, Brown's got 4 fouls, picks up number 5, drives in, charge, he's fouled out. Who are you going to go with the ball? That happens sometimes, guys. Like, this is reality. Sometimes your best players do foul out. Maybe not both of them, but definitely one of them. But let's say, just for this example, both of them foul out. If I'm the Celtics, I'm going to Pritchard. In that situation, a game-winning shot, Pritchard. 100%. And Pritchard's going to come up big. But we're going to talk about a lot of that on episode 4. But this is going to wrap up episode 3 of the New England Shakeup. And I hope everybody has a great Tuesday evening. NBA season starts at 7:30 Eastern time tonight. I will be watching Denver Nuggets versus the Los Angeles Lakers. And at 10 o'clock, we have the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors. Phoenix traveling to Golden State. And we will see if Bradley Beal plays. He is a game time decision, dealing with some ailment in his back. We'll see if he plays, but if he does play, it would be great to see that big 3 up against the Warriors' big 3. So, like I said, thank you everybody for tuning in to episode 3 of the New England Shakeup, and I hope everybody has a great Tuesday night. Peace.